So, I may have a bit of a problem. I have a crippling collab cafe addiction, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. So lucky for you, you get to hear me talk about 12 more collab cafes that I had the pleasure of going to. Now, unlike the first video I did where I broke up the cafes into categories, the majority of the cafes in this video are pop-up reservation cafes, meaning by the time this video is out, they will have all ended. So, this isn't really a travel suggestion video so much as it is just me trying to make up for all the money I've given to these cafes. Listen, I'll quit eventually, okay? Also, I will not be judging wait time because I used a reservation system for all of them, thank God. Instead, I'll be judging the merch they have available at every cafe. Okay, let's just jump right into it.
But first, I need to introduce you to today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Goddess of Victory, Nikke. Nikke is a brand new immersive sci-fi shooter RPG set in a post-apocalyptic future where you command a team of beautiful soldiers called Nikkes. If you're into cute anime girls, gritty sci-fi shooter combat, and world building, among other things, then this game might be just the thing for you. For the New Year update, you can get the new character Modernia, formerly known as Marion, and I won't spoil any of her story because I don't want to ruin the start of the game. But if you're interested in her, she'll be available from now until the 19th of January. There's also currently a story event going on that ties into her lore. And if you log in for 7 days straight, you can earn rewards like recruit vouchers and development materials. All the Nikkes featured in the game are gorgeously and intricately designed and all have great voice acting in English, Japanese, and Korean. Other gameplay elements like roguelike, puzzles, and co-op battles await, so if this is the game that speaks to you, then click the link in the description and try out Goddess of Victory Nikke today.
Number 1, the Full Metal Alchemist collab at Square Enix Cafe in Akihabara. The Square Enix Cafe is technically a permanent cafe, but the collaborations they do cycle out every 2 months or so. I ended up going to this cafe twice with my friend Daru because they had different menu items available depending on which dates you went, so we managed to try a lot of different things. During our first visit, I tried the Roy Mustang Flame Alchemist drink, and Daru ordered the Dwarf in the Flask drink that came with a bunch of seaweed noodles on top. I also ordered the Philosopher's Stone drink, which came with a glowing ice cube. And I think out of all the drinks I tried during this visit, the Roy Mustang one was definitely the tastiest. We also ordered a greed salad, which was actually kind of heavy because there was a thick layer of creamy noodles underneath the salad, so it was pretty on theme. I ordered the Grandma Finako cream stew, and it was delicious. Super comfy, cheesy, warm, and savory. Daru and I also shared Ed's tomato risotto, which was not very good and was honestly kind of bland. For dessert, we shared an Al's chocolate dome tart, which was super cute, and if you pulled away the Al wafer, there was a cute little cat inside the dome sitting in the fruits. This was our favorite thing because of the cuteness factor and also because it actually tasted really good. During our second visit 1 week later, I ordered Alphonse's acid bacteria juice, which sounds disgusting, but it was actually pretty tasty, and the Taboo of Alchemy, which was a blue soda that you were supposed to pour pomegranate syrup into. It was also pretty tasty. Unfortunately, I couldn't say the same for Daru's Eastern Command's Bad Coffee, which sounds like an ironic name, but it was in fact really, really bad coffee. You're supposed to pour in the concentrated coffee syrup to turn it into good coffee, but unfortunately, no amount of alchemy could save how bad this was. But you know what? I can't really knock off points for that because technically they did warn you. It's in the name. This time I ordered Armstrong's Artistic Kuru Kuru pasta, which wasn't bad. If you're an authentic pasta enthusiast, maybe don't order pasta at a collab cafe because you'll probably hate it, but personally, I will happily eat a can of Chef Boyardee, so my standards are much lower. Daru ordered Scar's Ishval steak, which was actually marinated grilled tofu over a bed of garlic breadcrumbs. It was pretty good, but by far the best meal we ordered was Roy's Flame Grilled Steak. It was a beautiful medium rare and it tasted so good. We absolutely murdered that plate together. For dessert, we ordered the Sweet Temptation of the Door of Truth, which came with granola, whipped cream, candy jellies, frozen fruit, and chocolate ice cream. Lastly, Daru ordered Winry's apple pie, which I didn't eat, but Daru said the pie tasted pretty basic, but she really liked the slightly salty vanilla ice cream it came with. Okay, that's a lot. But like I said, this was over the course of 2 visits. The atmosphere was really cool. There was plenty of art on display on the walls, including this giant illustration on the wall behind us, and they were playing various opening theme songs. I really liked how creative they got with the food arrangement and names, and this is a great experience if you're a huge Fullmetal Alchemist fan like Daru. So even though not absolutely everything was a hit, overall this cafe gets a 5 out of 5. Number 2, the Final Fantasy Eorzea Cafe in Akihabara. I hope I pronounced that right. This Final Fantasy XIV themed cafe is actually a permanent reservation cafe. Someone actually told me about this cafe in the comment section in my first cafe video, and I couldn't believe I missed it, so even though I don't play the game, I had to go. I went with Nabi, who actually plays the game, and the Gaming Beaver, who also doesn't play the game but wanted to come along to join the collab cafe experience. The atmosphere was really nice, and the interior was made to look like you were in Carline Canopy. One of the biggest standouts in the menu for this cafe was that they had a drink for every single class in the game, and each one looked unique. James ordered the Summoner, Nabi ordered the Black Mage and the Crystal Tower, and I ordered the Scholar drink, mostly because it came with a butterfly-shaped spoon and I thought it was really pretty. For my appetizer, I ordered a Fat Cat pork bun, which is one of the cutest things I've ever seen in a cafe, and also happened to be really tasty. James ordered the beaver croquettes for obvious reasons. He also ordered the mysterious muddy curry. Nabi ordered the Takeshi beef bowl, and I ordered the chocobo carbonara, which, while very cute looking, did not taste very pleasant. The pasta was kind of mushy and overcooked, and the sauce wasn't great, so if I could, I would have ordered something else, but Nabi and James both really liked their dishes. For dessert, we shared the Black Demon Crust tiramisu. Overall, I'd say the strongest parts about this cafe would be the atmosphere and the variety of drinks they have available. And if you like collecting cafe coasters, this cafe gives you a coaster for every single item you order, not just drinks. Unfortunately, there wasn't any merch available when I went, so I can't really tell you what extra things you can buy there. This cafe is definitely a must if you're a fan of the game, and I love how vast the menu is, so you could come here many times and never get the same thing twice. I think I'm gonna have to give this one like a very strong 4.8 out of 5. I just knocked off 0.2 points for not having merch, but like that's not a big deal. Number 3, Ebe at Sweets Paradise. This one might feel super nostalgic to some of you, as it did for me. To commemorate the Ebe remake for the Switch, there was a special Ebe-themed menu at Sweets Paradise. Now, the thing about Sweets Paradise is that it's a dessert buffet, and you have to pay the buffet ticket to eat here. And you might be thinking, but Emily, what if I just want to eat from the collab menu? I thought that too, and too bad you still need to pay for the buffet ticket in addition to the individual collab cafe menu items, even if you don't touch anything from the buffet. On the bright side, that means if you're still not full after you eat the collab stuff, you can gorge yourself on cake slices and pasta and curry afterwards. So just a heads up, if you ever book a collab cafe reservation with Sweets Paradise, expect an extra $10 to be charged to your receipt. Anyways, let's talk about the food. First thing we ordered was the Gary mushroom pasta and the curry rice. They were fine. Presentation-wise, it wasn't anything special, and the Sweets Paradise buffet already has pasta and curry, so it felt like kind of a waste to pay extra for more curry and pasta that just had some extra wafers on it. But it tasted fine. For dessert, we ordered the Ebe parfait, which was very cute, but it also tasted just fine. For our drinks, we got the blue lemonade and butterfly pea tea, which tasted, you guessed it, fine. The merch was pretty basic with the usual file folders, acrylic charms, and badges that you see at every other cafe. Like, this was honestly the most bare bones basic collab cafe you could possibly ask for. Not amazing, not terrible, just fine. 2.5 out of 5. Which is unfortunate, because I feel like there's so much they could have done with the Ebe's concept. Number 4, Tokyo Mew Mew at Motto Cafe in Ikebukuro. I was waiting for Tokyo Mew Mew to finally get their own cafe, and they did! I actually ended up going to this one twice. The first thing I tried was the kishu plate, which included a quiche, a side salad, fries, and a side of ratatouille. Daru ordered the Cafe Mew Mew omurice plate, and I also ordered the strawberry chocolate fruit sandwich. During my second visit, I ordered the Aoyama black and white stew plate. And I'll be honest, all of these items tasted pretty good, but presentation-wise, there really wasn't a lot going on. Not even one of those low-effort wafer paper decorations. At that point, you're not really eating themed food, more like regular cafe food that's extremely overpriced. But to be honest, I'd rather eat uninteresting looking food that tastes good than the other way around, so I still had a good time, all things considered. The drinks, unfortunately, were a disappointment. We ordered the Ichigo tea, Minto drink, and Zakuro tea, and they literally all tasted like water that was slightly flavored, which was a trip because they looked so vibrant and tasty. It threw me off. The merch was also pretty cute, but also super limited. It was the typical badges, charms, stickers, and file folders, and I ended up picking up the stickers and file folders. Overall, this was a pleasant experience, but I'll be honest, I was expecting a little more from a collab that seemed so obvious considering the characters work at a cute cafe in the anime. 3 out of 5. Number 5, Genshin Impact at Sweets Paradise. Here we are at another Sweets Paradise cafe. This time I went with Didus and Nabi, and we ordered quite a bit. The atmosphere was nice and busy, they played footage from the game on the walls, and there was music from the Inazuma soundtrack playing the whole time. I feel like this collab definitely had more thought put into it than the Ebe Cafe, because they actually went out of their way to recreate some of the dishes from the game. I ordered Kazuha's specialty dish, which was a grilled fish with rice and miso soup, which is a combo I usually really enjoy, but this fish didn't taste very seasoned, so I wasn't really a fan. We also ordered Toma's Oden, which tasted pretty good, as expected. I think it's hard to screw up Oden, to be honest. Didus ordered Yai Miko's specialty dish, which was a kitsune udon, and it tasted really good, actually. He completely annihilated it. My personal favorite was Ayaka's specialty dish, which was both really pretty, like the one in the game, and super tasty. The outside was the super soft sweet mochi, and the inside had red bean, whipped cream, and strawberries. It was so good. The last dessert we tried was an anmitsu themed after Goro, and I felt pretty indifferent about this one. I wasn't really into it. For the drinks, I had to order Ayato's milk tea boba, and Didus ordered Raiden Shogun's dango milk, which had a cute little blue ribbon on it like in the game. I unfortunately did not get to try it because he drank it so fast, but he really enjoyed it, so I'm assuming it was really good. Nabi ordered the black oolong tea and karage combo, which she also enjoyed. Overall, the food and drinks were pretty good, and I liked that some of the items were presented in the same likeness as their game counterparts. I got to take home a big stack of coasters that they gave out for each item we ordered, and while the merch section had the usual acrylic stands, badges, and file folders, you could also purchase plush slimes, bags, and washi tape for every region in Genshin besides Sumeru, which I dedicated an entire journal page to. Since it was Eula's birthday week, we also received a free Eula postcard, which I also pasted in my journal. Didus usually hates collab cafes, and he really liked this one, so this one counts as a success in my book. 5 out of 5, sure. Number 6, Berserk Cafe in Chiyoda. First off, the atmosphere was great because the first thing you see when you walk in is this giant cardboard display of guts, which looked incredible, and his iconic Dragon Slayer sword right underneath it. In the same room, there's framed art on display that you can browse through, which I'd never seen a collab cafe do, so that was really cool. Similarly to the Square Enix cafe, the ordering system was great because you got to just swipe through the menu and select which items you wanted. And you could actually order merch this way too. Didus ordered the branded sacrifice roast beef sandwich, which was literally just a sandwich and fries with the symbol on the sandwich. This was 1,540 yen, are you kidding me? It was meh. He also ordered the Griffith chicken wings, which I think were fine. I'll be honest, they weren't very memorable. I just remember them being kind of lukewarm. We both agreed that the tastiest item on the menu was the meat-wrapped rice ball on a stick that was meant to look like the Giant Slayer sword. It was pretty good. Can't really go wrong with a combo like meat and rice. I also ordered Casca's pomegranate kelpis, which I thought tasted really good. Now, the real highlight of this cafe was the merch. Some of the things you could get included a glitter key holder, a glass at the face, temporary tattoos, a metallic poster of Guts and Griffith, acrylic coasters, and prints of the artwork that was on display at the front of the cafe. Didus ended up getting a Berserk branded ramen bowl, which he was very excited about, and some blind bag acrylic coasters. We received free cardboard coasters with every item that we ordered, and the artwork on each of them looked spectacular. Overall, the food was pretty meh, but the merch was some of the most interesting I'd ever seen in a collab cafe, and the display section was really neat. At 3.5 out of 5. Number 7, the Miraculous Ladybug Cafe in Akihabara. Now, I know I haven't watched Miraculous Ladybug in years, and I've long since given up on this show, but I was intrigued by the fact that there even was a Miraculous Ladybug collab cafe going on. So here's my thoughts on the food. For the drinks, Daru and I ordered the Ladybug Berry Soda and the Cat Noir Kiwi Calpis drink, which we both really enjoyed. For our entrees, I ordered the chibi lunch, which included a small salad, potato wedges, some fried chicken, pasta, and what I think was a sweet potato soup. I thought it tasted pretty good, but it did sort of give me the vibe of like a school lunch. Daru ordered the mini cheeseburger plate, which she wasn't really impressed by, and again, feels a little like a school lunch. I think the real stars of this collab were the desserts. For dessert, we ordered the Sweethearts ice cream, which actually looked like the one from the show, and it had flavors of ramune on top and berry on the bottom. And the Marinette macaron plate, which had a strawberry macaron, a cream puff, and berry panna cotta. This plate was actually pretty good, especially the macaron. Holy cow, the macaron was so tasty, which I really wasn't expecting. Overall, I'd say the highlights of this collab were definitely the desserts and drinks in both presentation and taste. I liked that they had so many different drink options for the different characters, so I sort of wish I'd ordered more. The merch section had the usual badges, acrylic stands, and charms, so no extra points in that area, unfortunately. This one also gets a 3.5 out of 5. Number 8, BT21 at Shibuya 109. I know this one is technically not an anime, but the theme of this cafe was so cute I had to check it out. This time, I went with a friend who's a big K-pop fan, and we were immediately ecstatic over the cute magic-themed decor. For our visit, we received a free little memo pad and adorable star-shaped coasters, which was a nice change of shape from all the circle and square coasters I'd been getting. We both ordered the magical milk tea, which was a tea drink that came with a big cloud of cotton candy on top and a cup of milk that you're supposed to pour over the cotton candy and watch it magically disintegrate into your tea. It was really good. Definitely one of the more fun drinks I've had at a collab cafe. For the meal itself, we decided to share the magical tea time set and order one additional food plate because we knew we couldn't finish a whole dessert plate on our own. The presentation of this pastry stand meal was so cute. The savory plate had a sandwich, veggies, and a pasta gratin with mashed potatoes in the likeness of the BT21 character of your choosing. And the dessert plate had a spread of fruit, this really cute rainbow decoration made out of syrup and cotton candy, and a yogurt mousse tart that looked like the character of your choosing again. To be totally honest, I think everything looked better than they tasted. Like, I loved that there were so many vegetables and fruits, but somehow it all tasted very okay. Like, nothing was bad, but nothing was super great in any way either, and I was left feeling a little unsatisfied. The highlight of this cafe for me was definitely the adorable atmosphere and great presentation, but considering how expensive the plates were, I think I was expecting just a little more flavor. Especially those sandwiches, those were not great. The merch store had some pretty interesting stuff, like a mug, washi tape, handkerchiefs, balloons, acrylic coasters, and little handheld mirrors. I feel like this was slightly better than the average collab cafe experience. I just wished it was a little tastier. I'm gonna give this one a very soft 3.5 out of 5. Number 9, SpyxFamily at Sweets Paradise. Hey, we're back at Sweets Paradise, and this time I managed to get a reservation for a SpyxFamily collaboration. This time I dragged James and Whitney with me because they've been enjoying the show too. Okay, so first off, I have to knock off points for the atmosphere. Not that it was ugly or anything, but they kept playing just the second season opening over and over again the entire time, and it got to a point where I no longer enjoy hearing the opening, so thank you for that, Sweets Paradise. Anyways, right, the food. First thing I ordered was the Bond Parfait, and I need you to look at how cute this is. Full marks on presentation just for this cutie alone. I don't care if it's biased, look at him. James ordered the Anya Strawberry Soda, and Whitney ordered the Bond Coconut Boba, which both looked so cute next to each other. I also ordered Damien's Sparkling Grape Soda, which came with a small side of Pop Rocks that you could put in the drink. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. James ordered the Becky Spaghetti, which he liked, and he said the noodles had sort of an udon-like texture, which sounds amazing. I kind of wish I got that too, actually. Whitney ordered Damien's Cafeteria Steak Set, which sounds unappealing, but I tried some, and it actually tasted pretty good. Of course, nothing like an actual steak, but it had a strong, savory flavor, and Whitney liked it, although she did say it got a little salty near the last few bites. I ordered the Lloyd Omerized plate, and it was actually pretty good. The egg was nice and creamy on the inside, and the bread slices were fine. It was just bread and cheese. Lastly, for dessert, I ordered Yours chocolate cake, which was very prettily put together, but to no one's surprise, the chocolate was just a little too rich and intense for me and Whitney, which means it was absolutely heavenly to a chocolate lover like James, who graciously finished it for us. I think the presentation and taste of everything was pretty great, and the most disappointing part for me was the merch section. With an anime as popular and huge as SpyxFamily, I sort of expected a bigger selection of merch, maybe some interesting cafe exclusive stuff, but no, it was the usual badges, acrylic stands, and stickers. Same stuff you see at every collab cafe, and of course the stationery was expensive, and of course I got it anyway because I wanted to paste it in my journal, and look, I swear I have actual journal entries in here. It's just slowly devolved into a collab cafe picture book. Anyways, 4 out of 5. Number 10, Banana Fish at the Box Cafe in Space in Shinjuku. Nobody is safe from the Emirichu Collab Cafe Buddy Acquisition Committee. This time, I dragged Connor to a Banana Fish cafe because he really likes that anime. So first off, this cafe menu was interesting because it featured menu items inspired by other regions, which actually made it really difficult for me to figure out what I wanted to eat. Like, for instance, I wasn't gonna get the New York bagel sandwich plate because I am well aware of what a good New York bacon, egg, and cheese tastes like, and I've never had to pay more than like $5 for one. So there was no way in hell I was gonna pay 1,500 yen for a bagel sandwich that would undoubtedly fail to reach the high standard I already had for bagel sandwiches. I wasn't gonna get the banh mi plate because I also happen to know what a good banh mi tastes like. And again, you usually don't have to pay more than like $4 for one. So this also felt like I was setting myself up for disappointment. However, thanks to amusement parks and movie theaters, I am all too familiar with having to pay jacked up prices for a hot dog. So in order to give this cafe even a fighting chance at a good score, I had to go for the hot dog. And I mean, it was fine. It didn't taste bad or anything. It had a nice snap to it. It looked pretty. It had veggies. It was a hot dog. The stuff on the side was I just don't think seaweed and tofu make a good side dish for hot dogs, but what do I know? Connor ordered the tomato and sardine pasta, which he surprisingly really enjoyed.
What did you say?
It's not bad. It's pretty good. Look at it. It's pretty. Not mid. Actually, it's pretty good. 8 out of 10.
For drinks, we first ordered the Ash drink and Ag drink, both of which were pretty good. And then I got the shorter drink, which I thought I was gonna like because it's a mango milk tea, but we both thought it tasted really nasty. But the colorful soda float I ordered was delicious, especially when I mixed the vanilla ice cream into it because then it became this really tasty, creamy, fizzy milkshake. My only complaint being that there was way too much ice. Come on, what is this? You're gonna charge me 950 yen and fill up like 75% of the glass with ice? Get it together, Box Cafe in Space! Anyways, for dessert, we ordered the French toast plate, which was pretty but terrible. Easily some of the worst French toast either of us have ever eaten. We could only get like a few bites in and then we had to give up. But the caramel pancakes were pretty alright. I especially liked the sprinkling of pistachio nuts on top. A bit too much cream, but way better than the French toast. Honestly, I don't really know what to rate this one because everything seemed so wildly hit or miss. So I think this is one of those menu RNG type of situations where you just have to hope you picked the better tasting items. I'm gonna say like 3.5 out of 5. The rating system in this video is completely arbitrary, so you can disagree with me if you want. It's fine. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5. We didn't buy anything from the merch section, but I thought the most interesting thing was this super cute plate that our French toast was served on. Number 11, Fruits Basket in Osaka. If anyone ever dares to question my devotion to collab cafes and specifically Fruits Basket, I just want you to know I made the spontaneous decision to travel all the way to Osaka for a day just to go to the Fruits Basket 30th anniversary cafe because they did one in Tokyo, except it was back in early March when I hadn't moved here yet, so I missed out on it. And then they announced that they were going to do it in Osaka, and I was like, well, it was my only chance to go to the Fruits Basket 30th anniversary cafe, so I did. But I wasn't alone because if there's anyone who's always down to enable me in my impulsive fandom-driven pursuit for the next best cafe, it's Daru. We decided to take the Shinkansen to Osaka in the morning so we could catch an early lunch at the cafe and then go again for an early dinner before hopping on the train back to Tokyo. I even brought along my Furuba acrylic stand to take pictures with because if I'm going to travel all the way to Osaka for a collab cafe, I'm going to be a little extra about it. We ordered almost the entire menu, so let's get right into it. First of all, the atmosphere was nostalgia heaven. There were gorgeous illustrations up on the wall, they were playing the soundtrack from the anime on the speakers, and there was that same convenient tablet ordering system at the tables where you could also order the merch. And oh my god, the merch! There was so much you could buy, it was almost overwhelming. We're gonna get into that after the food, but I'm telling you right now, it was the highlight of this cafe. For lunch, Daru and I started our order with a Kyo orange cocktail and a Kureno peach oolong tea. And unsurprisingly, they were both way too sweet. And I know it wasn't just me, because the guy sitting in front of me also ordered the peach oolong tea, and I heard him say amasugiru after taking a sip, so it's already not off to the best start. I also ordered a cafe latte with Yuki's face printed on it, and it tasted fine. Pretty much the same as every other cafe latte I've ever ordered at a collab cafe. I was really excited to try the Kyo burger because I thought it looked adorable, but it was god-awful. Genuinely could not finish it. The buns were cold. I've had better burgers at McDonald's. Daru ordered the Yuki curry, which came out a little smudged, but I really liked that there were a lot more vegetables in it than what you usually get from a collab cafe curry, and it tasted like what you'd expect. However, there was one thing that ruined the whole dish for us. To replicate Yuki's ears, they put ham on dark chocolate and then stuck it into the rice. Dark chocolate? Why? You couldn't use like a mushroom? Or maybe even one of those wafer papers? Chocolate? We thought maybe it was a flavor combo that was secretly good, but no, it tasted gross. It tasted like ham and dark chocolate over rice. At this point, we are praying to God the dessert will be the saving grace. We ordered the Kyo Yuki chocolate lava cake, and similarly to my experience with the Your Chocolate cake from the SpyxFamily cafe, this cake was too rich and chocolatey for me personally, but Daru loved it. So hey, one good thing out of like 5 things. Luckily, the things we ordered when we came back during dinner time ended up being a lot better. For drinks, I ordered the Toru strawberry milk, which tasted pretty good, but it then occurred to me that I forgot my lactate pills, and I was afraid of what an entire glass of milk was gonna do to me, so I passed it off to Daru. I also ordered Ayame's berry soda float, which was one of the best tasting things I'd ordered that whole day. I was worried it'd be too sweet like the drinks we had during lunch, but it was honestly perfect. Daru got the cursed jelly fruit punch, which is supposed to change color once you add the lemon juice. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember if it actually ever did. I didn't try it, but she thought it was alright. For dinner, we ordered the somen, which was the most normal thing on the menu, but I thought it was pretty good. Daru said the somen noodles were overcooked, but at this point, we just wanted something edible, okay? The bar's in hell. The best thing that we ordered ended up being the Toru rice ball plate. How fitting that the best girl ended up being the best item. One of the rice balls had her cute little face on the front and a little umeboshi on the back. Maybe it's because this was a super normal Japanese meal, but everything from the tamagoyaki to the salmon to the mackerel to little sausages wrapped in bacon tasted great. I was grateful that I could leave the cafe with at least one good meal in my stomach. For dessert, we decided to share the dessert plate, which included 2 mini parfaits, some citrus fruits, some more fruit in an orange bowl, a crepe cake slice, and some tea cookies. This one tasted pretty okay. I liked the fruits, but Daru and I both agree that the crepe cake slice was not the best. You could legitimately get a better tasting one from a konbini. But we really liked the presentation of the whole thing, and it came with some free little postcards that featured pages from the manga, and you know I had to paste that into my journal. But the most exciting part for me was the merch and free little goodies. We received a coaster for every item we ordered, so we ended up with a lot of coasters, which I was very happy about. And 2 larger sized postcards of Yuki and Kyo, which of course I had to put in my journal because where else was I gonna put it? I decided to treat myself to 2 prints that featured art from the manga and some blind bag acrylic coasters. Yes, I know I already have a massive collection of free cardboard coasters, but look at these designs and tell me I was just supposed to walk away from these. I stopped there, but they had more things for sale like framed fridge magnets, a mug, a cafe art stencil, reproduced prints of fruits basket illustrations, etc. This trip was a lot of fun, but I think for next time, if I ever do something like this again, I'll make it a multi-day trip because it doesn't really make sense to go to the city most known for its delicious food only to go to the worst kind of place for good food. If we're counting the bullet train tickets, this was hands down the most expensive cafe trip I've ever done, but I made some pretty good memories. 2.5 out of 5. Number 12, last but not least, the Ouran High School Host Club Collab Cafe in Chiyoda. This time, we're actually going to the same venue as the Berserk Cafe, and this collab is licensed under the same company as Berserk and Fruits Basket, which means, the food is probably gonna suck, but the merch will be amazing. Like the Berserk Cafe, the moment you walk in, you're greeted by a large cutout display of the host club in their adorable cafe outfits, and a bunch of framed illustrations on the walls that you can admire before you get seated for your reservation. I really wish more cafes did this because it's such a nice addition to the atmosphere, and I love that you can purchase a print if you really like one of them. We sat down, scrolled through the iPad. Is that an Ouran teacup set pre-order for 8,800 yen? Who in their right mind would buy this? Me. I am that person. I'm sorry. Listen, Daru and I may have both gotten a little excited with the merch, okay? They had a canvas print, they had washi tape, a postcard set, acrylic coasters, a ticket holder with stickers, an Ouran branded tea bag. I almost ignored the acrylic stands and then noticed that they came with a little table, so then I had to get it. Okay, we're moving on from the merch. You get it. It gets full marks, 5 stars. Let's talk about the food. I ordered Haruhi's strawberry soda, and as expected, I thought it was delicious. Daru ordered Kyoya's lime tonic, which came with black pepper sprinkled on top because it apparently signified Kyoya's dislike for sweet things. Which, alright, interesting choice. Honestly, after ham dark chocolate yuki curry, I just don't question anything anymore. I also got Honey's rosehip strawberry tea, which looked very cute but tasted very gross. We also ordered a cafe latte with Tamaki's face printed on it, and it tasted fine. Again, cafe latte always tastes as you'd expect. Daru ordered the Kyoya burger, and... okay. So, seeing as how Hakusensha is behind this collab as they were with the Furuba collab, I sort of expected it to taste like the Kyo burger, and it did. But somehow it was even worse, because it came with a side of 2 very dried up pieces of squid, and I love squid, so this was heartbreaking. And yes, those are unseasoned boiled potatoes. Does this meal look like a meal fit for someone as refined and elegant as Kyoya? Boiled, unseasoned potatoes? And cold buns? Again? I ordered the Karu and Hikaru curry, which was advertised like a prank that the twins are playing on you because one side of the curry is supposed to be super spicy, and you need to figure out which one it is, which sounds like a lot of fun. But then I received the curry, and before even tasting it, I was like, oh boy, which side is the spicier side? I wonder if it's the side that has cayenne pepper messily spattered all over it. Did you even try? And that's my biggest problem with the Hakusensha branded collab cafes. The food almost feels bad on purpose. The most decent thing we ate was the Honey Senpai strawberry cake, which had a really nice custard filling in the middle, and it was very cute. But I'm once again begging cafes to please use less cream in their desserts because 50% of this cake was just entirely cream. We are drowning in cream. Please, the cream to cake ratio is atrocious. 2 out of 5. So if you go to a collab cafe with a really awesome merch selection, I recommend buying maybe a drink or 2 and then spending your money on the exclusive merch. And if you do get food, I recommend sticking to the more Japanese dishes because they're more likely to taste good. Just don't get the burgers. I'm starting to get a pretty good idea of which venues will have the better food, merch, and presentation, especially since I've gone to more than 24 of these, so when I inevitably make my 3rd cafe video, you'll hear more about that. Oh, and side note, I went back to the Kirby Cafe for a friend's birthday, and I'm happy to report that the food was delicious, everything was adorable, it was actually an even better experience than the first time I went, and the merch store is updated very frequently, and we picked up this really cute Kirby Cafe music box. Look at it! So yeah, Kirby Cafe is still a 5 out of 5. If you get the chance to reserve, you totally should. And make sure you do it a month in advance because it is very popular for a reason. All right, I'm gonna go. Hope you enjoyed this video. And normally I don't ever ask for extra engagement, but please leave a comment or something because going to 12 collab cafes is stupid expensive and I need to milk this video for all it's worth. Mommy Susan, please. Okay, goodbye.